Lando, how are you? Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Just coming off your P4 finish. I mean, you were P5 and then got promoted to P4.
P4
right?
finish.
How did the car feel? Did the upgrades, does it feel like it's going in the right direction?
It's going in the right direction. And I think, of course, a lot of work went into making sure that we had that car for then. Which is a good thing because there's already some things that we learned that we maybe didn't optimize or make as good as it could have been, just because of the short amount of time that we had to test it and implement it and so on. So already some things that we know we can improve on for this weekend coming. But of course, this upgrade did help us achieve a P4 last weekend. So a good sign. Plenty of positive things that came from it. Not just that the car was quicker, but also the handling was a little bit better. So multiple of things. But plenty more work, and at the same time, still a very clear plan of where we need to improve.
It did take a while for the FIA to go through all of the processes that they needed to get the right lap times and everything, because we did, and to figure out who had penalties and who didn't.
Yeah.
Do you think there's maybe an easier way of basically getting penalties sorted out sooner rather than an hour or 2 hours after a race has ended? I know it's a tough question.
It's a tough question. I'm just the one driving the car at the end of the day, so it's tough. I think everyone kind of needs to come together and try to find solutions. It's not always as easy as you want it to be. There were corners where there were punishments enough if you go a little bit wide, but you still get a penalty, even if you run that little bit wide. Gravel isn't a penalty enough in a Formula 1 car. So some corners, they can use a bit of common sense, and there doesn't need to be these rules for some certain corners. For like the last few corners, it's a very tricky one to say, but we'll work with things. We'll work with the FIA and try and come up with solutions. But yeah, I did a good job with it, so I don't need to talk about it much, and my focus is already on Silverstone.
So talking about the Google Chrome color that we have on the car here for today, I mean, there's been a ton of really great drivers who have raced with that Chrome on the McLaren. I mean, obviously Oscar Piastri's a great teammate. He's your teammate now, but if you were to go back into the past, drivers that have run that particular color, is there any certain driver you would like to be a teammate of in the past? The past.
I mean, of all the past, I would refer all the way back to Prost and that kind of era. But people who drove the Chrome car, I grew up. 07, 08 was when I really started getting into Formula 1. And that was the big battle of Lewis versus Fernando. Even though they were teammates, it was Lewis versus Fernando. So, any of them, I would love to have competed against Lewis, and we kind of do in a way now. And same with Fernando. They're both some of the best drivers which have ever been in Formula 1. So to be alongside them, to work with them, or I guess against them, is always an honor at the same time. But Fernando and Lewis are the guys that kind of really got me into F1, got me into McLaren. And I'm not just saying that because I'm with McLaren now, but I love the Chrome livery. It was the coolest one. And when you're young, you just want to do whatever's cool. And for me, that was the coolest thing. So that got me into McLaren, and ever since I've been a McLaren fan.